Welcome back to another episode of Hangman'S Handbook. After a few weeks of hiatus, we're finally back. I took a few days off the game so I could prevent myself from feeling burnt out in playing the game. Anyways, on to today's topic. So you may have mastered the patterns of hitter attacks, but end up fighting them for several moments because your equipment aren't leveled up enough. You weren't able to develop them because you lacked the materials and Splithium for it. If this situation sounds familiar, then this video is perfect for you, because today's topic is about materials and Splithium acquisition. In Let It Die, we need the combination of materials, Splithium, and time to develop a piece of equipment by one level. In my experience, materials and Splithium are the hardest to come by among those three, which is why they're the topic of today's video. Research and development materials are found scattered throughout the Tower of Barbs, and Splithium are more commonly dropped by every hitter you kill in the tower. As common as they may seem, at some point you'll find yourself scrambling for hours just to find those few pieces of materials that's stopping you from progressing. Along those lines, Splithium starts becoming a problem. To remedy those problems, first let us focus on the materials. As a starting point, you should be aware that every floor has a specific material set it contains. For example, this floor only drops metal, and this floor drops all materials of that floor tier randomly. All materials have tiers, and they range from 1 through 8 as of the making of this video, and they appear depending on what floor you are on. There are also faction metals which drop reliably from mid-bosses, and the color depends on what floor you're on as well. The mid-bosses correspond to the following factions as follows: Cohen for DOD, Jindai for War Ensemble, Goto for Candlewolf, and U10 for Milk. There are also tuber metals which drop from tuber enemies, and the type of tuber you killed determines what metal you get. For example, scratch tubers drop scratch metals. For this video, we'll only be focusing on tiers 1 to 5 materials, tuber metals, and blue to purple faction metals. The methods I've mentioned are the conventional means of finding materials, but there are more convenient ways of obtaining materials. The first method involves Gyakufunsha, Chokafunsha's twin brother. He has a wandering shop found within the Tower of Barbs, marked with this symbol. Upon entering these floors, there's only a chance that he will appear, denoted by the darkened wandering shop symbol once you enter the floor. If he is there, he will allow you to purchase that floor tier's materials for kill coins, along with tuber metals and that floor tier's faction metals. Take note, however, that he sells tier 4 and 5 materials on floors 31 to 40. There are special days, however, Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, wherein his shop will appear 100% on special floors, and this version of the shop will sell materials from varied tiers. These floors are on the 3rd floor and the 27th floor. Just take this path for Omuki for the 3rd floor variant, and you'll find that his shop sells tier 1 and tier 2 materials and faction metals, along with scratch, hover, and reversal metals for kill coins. For the 27th floor variant, however, go to Yukiyoshi by taking this path. Once you get to the rainbow colored hall, you can now shop for tiers 3, 4, and even tier 5 materials, black and red faction metals, and all tuber metals. Another way of acquiring materials conveniently is found in your waiting room. So every day, the vending machine on your waiting room randomly generates 10 materials and mushrooms to be sold to you, ranging from tier 1 to 7. They are sold to you for either kill coins or death metals, but I recommend going for the kill coins deal unless you really are desperate or are really rich. The vending machine also sells faction metals from blue to orange colors, but they're only sold for death metals. The Hernia vending machine also has a recycle exchange function. So the way this works is that you exchange unwanted premium decals and blueprints to the vending machine for points. And using these points, you can receive Hernia exclusive blueprints and faction metals ranging from blue to purple faction metals. If Gyaku Funsha is not available on that day and you don't want to leave his appearance to chance, or you don't see the desired materials on the vending machine on your waiting room, you may also just farm material-specific floors. These floors are outlined on this map, which can be found on the link in the description. It's important to note these floors can spawn materials that are one tier higher, so if you're trying to get a leg up on your current floor range enemies, this is the way to go. Be warned, however, because these floors also have a chance of spawning materials which are 2 tiers lower. As I have mentioned earlier, faction metals are dropped by mid-bosses which vary from different floor ranges. You may have noticed in your climb that some floor ranges do not contain a certain mid-boss from a certain faction. So you may ask, where could I get the faction metals for the missing mid-boss for that floor range? Well, there are other ways. The first one is to kill haters. Sometimes they drop these gold chests which usually contain faction metals, and according to my experience, they lean towards dropping faction metals whose mid-boss isn't present on the floor range. Another method would be to go through trap rooms. These are the rooms which contain either silver or gold chests, which are obviously gated. Opening these chests would cause enemies to spawn, and the room would remain locked until you've killed all of them. The gold chests in these types of rooms contain just about the same faction metals found from the haters on that floor range. Lastly, and the most unreliable way, would be to kill treasure tubers. These treasure tubers rarely appear on some floors, and killing them would sometimes cause them to drop golden chests. These golden chests are similar with the other golden chests, you get the idea. I think it's also worth noting here that you can get red metals from the weekly quests, more specifically the Kill the Dons quests. Killing the week's Don grants you 3 red metals from their faction as a reward. Now that we got materials out of the way, let's talk about Splithium. I'm going to say it right now, and you may have noticed it yourselves, but you can't just get by with killing haters alone for Splithium. The first thing that comes to my mind when my Splithium bank runs dry is to go to TDM and wreck some bases. You might not think this is a good idea, but trust me, you can wreck the lowest level in your rank and still get a decent Splithium rank bonus. Right now, I'm in Diamond, and every win grants me 10k Splithium minimum as a bonus. Here are the rank bonuses per win in each tier if you are curious. Besides that, there's a small chance that you get to capture the base's defenders and drain Splithium from them over time. And if you're successful in holding that fighter for 4 hours, you get a lost bag. And depending on how well equipped they were, the better the lost bags. There's always a small chance for you to get lost bags when you raid as well, and they can contain Splithium or materials, so that's a bonus. You also get a TDM bonus of gold and Splithium at the end of every week based on your rank, so really there's no reason to not wail on the worst defenses in your rank tier. The last thing I can think of for Splithium farming is the weekly quest of killing haters 50 times. This rewards you with 100,000 Splithium upon completion. So that's about it. The methods I use to get the things I need when I try to upgrade my gear. Was there anything I missed out on? Or perhaps you want me to cover another topic for the next Hangman'S Handbook? Leave it in the comments below. I hope you guys are staying safe, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.